Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. I'd like to welcome you all to the show. I want everyone that listens to this radio podcast to look at the picture that's accompanying this podcast. You'll see a baseball field, but you'll see in the background some apartments with a high view. I'd like for you to check your video cameras on November the 13th, 1 a.m. to 1:20 a.m. and see if around that time, if any vehicles stopped or if you see a person walking along the TC Jester right in front of that park that you see in the photo. If you do, please contact the police department and send them a copy of that video. Now, if you like to remain anonymous, then you can send a copy of that video to COLD as in door, B as in Bob, LAC at iCloud.com. That's COLD BLAC at iCloud.com. I talked to his father that Tuesday, which would have been the 15th, and we went out and I took videos of that area thinking it might be a chance or a possibility that he was headed that way when they showed him jogging, stumbling, trying to gather his composure. Some said it looked like he was holding his side as if he had been wounded. Or if that could have been pain from being drugged at a bar. But I want you to focus on that area. Even the apartment complexes and the homes that's along that near that baseball field that has the range to see on that street. Go back, check your cameras, and email the footage once again to the police department or COLDBLAC at iCloud.com. It's imperative. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Delano is still missing, and his father wants him home. His family wants him home. So we have to do all that we can to make sure he's found. Now, I want to give you all a brief history of the case in case this is your first time hearing it, although it's been on several media platforms. Sheila Jackson Lee spoke on the case, and they're offering a $5,000 reward for anybody that has any information or the whereabouts of Delano Burkes. Says Delano Burkes, 26, enjoyed a night out with friends on Saturday, November 12th. And he was last spotted in the early hours of November 13th in Houston, Texas. And the early hours would be after 1 a.m. The group had enjoyed drinks earlier in the evening and they were in Burkes' car. Now, they were in Burkes' car. Burkes, he leaves the vehicle to go into McIntyre's bar. That was near West 19th Street. But he didn't return, and they left without him. Now, he went in the bar to use the restroom. In that turn, someone was stating that they heard he went into a female's restroom, which couldn't be corroborated. Then the patrons asked him to leave. And so when he left through the back exit, and that's what caused concern from McIntyre's. If you deem a paying customer who you said was drunk or intoxicated, and you made him leave through the back of the club, one problem with that is once he goes out to the back of the club and he's drunk, now he's disoriented because he has to now make his way to the front of the club. Is there an alleyway he has? Does he go left? Does he go right? Is there an alleyway where he has to walk down in order to cut back? Did someone see him and started chasing him? And that's why he ran alongside of the back gate of the life storage facility. Right. Now, from running from that back gate of the life storage facility, I was told that to check near the park area, and that's the picture that you see that accompanies this podcast. That park area, that street, TC Juster, has apartment complexes that has a tall view, meaning I don't know if they're 1-story, 2-story, 3-story apartments. But those apartments, I know that there's Ring doorbell cameras. And that's why I'm asking to send that footage in or look at the footage to see what you see around the time of 1 a.m. to 1:20 a.m. And that's November 13th, right? Right after midnight, right after Saturday, right at 1 a.m. Look at that footage and see, what do you see? Okay. His friends, now, another thing that's, is concerning is because now we were taught that if you ride together, you come home together. Now, they left him in his vehicle, right? And we don't know the reason being, and then they reported that to the parents of Delano that a day later, and which would have been that Tuesday. And then from that Tuesday, when I received the call, I went out on that Wednesday to help search for my friend's son. That's where the picture comes in at. Now, Burkes was asked to leave McIntyre shortly after 1 a.m. because he appeared to be drunk. And now video footage unearthed by the family shows him running and stumbling through the streets later in the night. The footage captured from a few different security cameras has sparked fears he may have needed help. Of course he needed help when you see the video. But I want to commend the family because they paved the streets and got the video footage. They didn't say, well, he's missing. I don't know what we're going to do. Ain't no telling what happened to him, No, they went into action, started pounding the pavement, calling people. We're out on the search at the onslaught, the beginning stages. We're out there looking. KHOU comes out, and I believe was the first, and interviewed the family. And then it started going from there. People were getting involved. The investigation is ongoing. And the reason being is, as I stated earlier, man, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. People want to be home with their loved ones and sharing in the tradition and whatnot. And This family has to go through a son that hasn't been found yet at this time. That's pretty hard, so that's why I'm asking. You got to check those cameras. Now, Delano Burkes owns a real estate investment company and who used to be a keen football player for the Lions at Texas A&M University. This action is out of character. Burke's mother, Karen Jeffrey, told KHOU 11, "I was wondering if someone was chasing him. Like, why would he take off running across the ditch like that?" Right? Now, did someone who escorted him out of McIntyre follow him? Right? Did someone stop a vehicle and force him inside the vehicle? Right? Those answers to those questions will be answered when you all look at your video footage around that area from 19th Street, TC Jester, around that baseball park. And I'm saying that baseball park because I videoed it, but I couldn't catch the name of it. But those who live in the Heights in that area, that baseball park, and what's across the street, those apartment complexes. Go over there and get that footage. See if a car stopped between those hours. And even if you might think it might be insignificant, but still, record that, send that video in, right? Even if you don't see anyone getting inside that vehicle, but you see a vehicle stopped, right? Because there's a license plate to that vehicle, and it could be a lead. So you want to send that in as well. Okay, we're going to go on a little further. Okay. Now, his friend had his car, so it wouldn't have been like him. She added, her son's phone was out of the battery was dead, and he didn't have his ID on him. He's not at the hospital. He's not with the police station, she added. Right. So he didn't have any ID on him. They checked the hospitals. I seen photos posted at hospitals with his picture on it. And at this point, no one has seen him at the hospital or any John Doe's. The police station. Now, you all know of the story at the police station where they would have you sit days before being booked. And at this point, that hasn't came up yet. Was he sitting, waiting to be booked in the lobby at the police station for days? But it would be highly unlikely for him to be sitting in a police station from the 13th up until today. About 10 days. Now, if so, send that information in. Everyone know that there is a breach in that system in regards to how long people are being detained in the lobby before they even processed. So check that lobby area, right? And at the police station, check for any John Doe's. Okay, come on, let's continue. The alarm was raised the next day when Burkes failed to make contact with his wife, Autumn, or his friends to retrieve his car. No matter what, he would call me. He would call his family. He would make sure that he got home. So this is completely just like not normal or something's wrong. Autumn, his wife, told the news channel. But the mystery has only deepened after surveillance footage emerged showing Burkes' last known movements. Jeffrey, speaking to ABC 13, described the video as scary and added that her son definitely wasn't in his right mind. She urged young people not to leave their drunk friends alone on nights out, of course. But was he drunk or was he drugged? Right. And if he was drugged, who drugged him? Now, y'all bear with me because, hold on. Let's see what's really going on because, this case is entire. I'm looking at McIntyre's, right? Heights, okay. We're looking at McIntyre's Heights. Let's do this. Hold on, let's do this real quick. Because I want to see if I can see it for myself. But I had heard. Okay. I heard the fact that someone was complaining about the drinks. Let me see. Time birthday 2. Okay. Look, one which is Michelle Garcia. She says she had a great experience. A friend got sick after being in the bar 15 minutes. And while waiting for the ride, she threw up next to the door inside the entryway and passed out twice while sitting on a bench. Right? A normal human would have asked if she was okay or offered water. The security guard repeatedly and aggressively asked when our Uber was arriving. We asked for the manager in front of a man who did not identify himself. The security guard sneered, pointed off, and told us the man he was just talking to was the owner. We asked for the manager, not the owner, therefore he did not talk to us. Another employee approached them, did not identify himself, and asked what the problem was. My sick friend told him we were waiting for a ride and cussed in the explanation and complaint of the security guard's behavior. Okay. Basically what they're saying is that the friend was only in there 15 minutes and got sick. And the staff showed no concern for the behavior. Right? Reason why I'm bringing that up is because if they said he was drunk, why are you exiting to the back of the club? Why would you exit a disoriented person towards the back when they came in through the front door? You know? It's I don't know. Right? Right. Some complaints on here. You know? So, that's what it is. But the most important thing, send those videos in. Right? So we can bring Delano Burkes home. Get some answers to what took place. Again, those videos are very important in the Heights area. Around the baseball field that's accompanying this podcast. See that picture? See the apartments in the background? All up along that area by that baseball field. If you see any cars between 1 a.m. and 1:20 a.m. November 13th that stopped. You see anybody running along there. If you see anybody getting a vehicle, that footage is important because in that footage it has vehicles, type of vehicles, make, model, possibly license plates, possibly someone that fits the description of Delano Burkes, or it could be someone that's chasing or following. But anyone that's out in that area between 1 a.m. and 1:20 a.m., we need you all to look at your video footage and report that to the police department. And if you want to remain anonymous, again, you can send those videos to coldblac@icloud.com, and I'll make sure it gets to the family, and we can go from there. This is for the listeners of Rural Pick Radio. Thank you, and I'll keep you all informed. We out.